Salarah Starre is a UK-based advanced law of attraction teacher trainer, coach, public speaker, and leading wellness expert. She will share life-changing wisdom about the law of attraction and how you can use this powerful universal law to build a foundation for bigger and bolder manifesting results. It is time to create the life you deserve, and with Salarah's help, you will.
How to master social media to become a powerhouse of positive vibes. I'm Salarah Starre, your law of attraction coach and mentor, and I help you to master your manifestations and your life, which means no more pushing, no more forcing. It's time to own that power within you. And today we are going to be looking into a very interesting subject, social media and manifestation, and how to access the digital realm for these positive vibes. And in a world where every single tap, like, and scroll influences our energy, we're going to be looking at and unraveling the connection between social media and the law of attraction. We're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the impact it has on our thoughts, on our emotions, and of course, explore some practical tips on how to turn your online environment into what I would describe as a powerhouse of positive vibes. Also look at some of the pitfalls and challenges, that horrendous comparison trap, which I've fallen into so many times, the negativity, but how we can actually harness social media for growth, consciousness expansion, mindful manifestation, so that we can actually curate our own online experience with purposeful intention. So it's an absolute pleasure to be with you today. So let's look at how social media actually impacts our energy. Maybe you can take a moment just to think back about your own online experience. You might find that one moment you feel massively inspired because somebody has just put a really profound affirmation, or you've seen a short clip of an inspirational talk, and you're left kind of remembering who you are and remembering your power. And then as you scroll, you see something that brings your energy down. You may go then into what we call comparison, where somebody is having an amazing time in their life and going all these wonderful holidays and doing the work that you want to do on the level that you want to do it. And then you feel like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. And will I ever be able to have what they have? And maybe I have to just accept my lot in life. And then you go to the next one, and the next one is showing pictures of maybe animals that, have been neglected, and your energy comes down even more. And then you scroll again, and it's such a roller coaster of emotions. And we just go through, it feels like this kind of seemingly endless feed, if you like. And sometimes we get lost in it for hours on end, and we've wasted time where we could have been investing that energy into building our dreams. And all of these subtle shifts in emotions are massively impacting our energy as we go on this kind of relentless pursuit, if you like, of perfection. And that feeling of that constant exposure to contrast from what we're seeing in our own reality. And quite frankly, it not only leaves us feeling drained, but yes, my friends, it absolutely affects our vibrational frequency. Social media shapes our energy, and it absolutely shapes our ability to manifest as well. And recognizing the impact of our digital interactions is a really powerful step towards reclaiming control over our own energy, but of course also learning to leverage it for positive manifestations as well, right? Because this is an amazing resource when we know how to use it well, that can absolutely help us to tap into wonderful wisdom, great reminders when we need it most, and a space that can positively raise our vibrations and remind us just how powerful we are, as well as many other things as well. So, like we've discussed, like social media has a massive impact on our energy. And it really is very, very important to recognize that. And, as we go through the show, we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the pitfalls. In fact, we may as well just go into some of the pitfalls now. Some of you may have also noticed that I've got a law of attraction teacher training advert that is appearing randomly in my feed. First of all, I want to say it may have come as some of a shock, especially to some listeners who've been listening to my show for some time. It's part of technology I haven't quite managed to figure out yet. So I'm kind of finding my way through all of this podcast stuff as I go. And I'm going to aim to put it into a place now where it doesn't feel so random. But I just want to say it's lovely having you along the learning journey with me. Anyway, back to our topic at hand. So while social media opens amazing doors to connections of people all around the world. I mean, I've made connections with beautiful and wonderful souls, just like you, the listener. I would never, ever have had access to making these kind of connections if it wasn't for social media. But I have to say, like with everything, it has positive and negatives. I would also, on another positive, not have ever had access to some of the wisdom and knowledge and tips and tools that I have if I didn't have such access to wonderful spaces like Instagram, Facebook, and such like. But it's also important to know that it also presents kind of like a bit of a terrain fraught with challenges, if you like, for the manifester. Some aforementioned with the highs and the lows of the emotional feelings, sometimes somewhat subtle, that we go through as we go through these endless scrolling, tapping and liking and whatever it might be. One of the ones for me, which was really massively profound, was the infamous comparison trap. Oh my word, it constantly reminded me, or it felt like it, where I wasn't good enough, where I wasn't blessed, if you like, where I couldn't do certain things. I wasn't important. Other people were more important than me. I didn't have what it takes to make the grade, if you like. And that would always leave me feeling not good enough and that life preferred other people to me, etc., etc. Now, on one hand, it was great because it was showing me loads of subconscious programs that I could do with working on and healing. But what about if I had already done a lot of work on these and I had already done a deep dive on healing these, and now I really just needed to tidy up what I was allowing into my reality, what my input was. And, I'm a great believer that what we put into our mind and our body will have a direct influence on then what we feel and what we then continuously attract. So that kind of circular motion, our input determines our output, our input determines our output. And if we're inputting loads of stuff that just ends up making us feel like a bad person and not good enough, and that life doesn't love us and that the universe doesn't have our back, we're going to then start to adjust our frequency and take action based on that. And like we say, we're in that infinite loop until we call time on this and say enough is enough. So what some authors have recommended is unfollow people that make you feel like you're not good enough and you're not achieving, not because you don't like them and not because you don't think that they're great people, but it's about protecting your own energy as well. And it's also not about a spiritual bypass either. So for those of you listening who are new to the show, please go back to that, because we don't want to spiritually bypass some of our deeper lessons for growth. Sometimes when people bring about certain feelings within us, we know it's not about them. We know it's deeper healing of something that we need to go and resolve within us. And once we've resolved that, we probably wouldn't ever need to block them anyway or unfollow. But there's also a case of whilst we're building our strength and whilst we're remembering who we are, we can go through processes of muting people or unfollowing just while we go and do some of the deeper work, just whilst we build up our own strength. And also remembering that we only see a very, very tiny portion of that person's life, and usually what they choose to show us too. And actually, if we had the full picture of their life, it would feel very, very different, and we probably wouldn't go into comparison at all. So it really is about being very, very discerning here. So yes, having those feelings triggered within us can be good because it can show us where we need to go in order to grow. But also sometimes, it can create diversions that can hinder and cause unnecessary highs and lows in that kind of emotion we described earlier. So remember the infamous comparison trap. It can easily ensnare us and make us feel inadequate and generate feelings of scarcity. And, also negativity, whether in the comments or the contents, they can seep into your subconscious mind like you wouldn't believe. I mean, over the years, I have very nearly quit doing this job because there's always going to be one or two people who want to make a negative comment and say something nasty. And it's just not in my consciousness. It's not something that I want to do. I think if you don't like what I'm sharing, then just unfollow me. You don't need to follow me. You also don't need to be nasty. But sometimes these negative comments or content can absolutely pull you down and make you feel all sorts of emotions that are completely unnecessary, and again, become a major distraction on you achieving your dreams. Again, I want to highlight that there is a dance between spiritually bypassing and blocking out all these things versus using some of these things to help you to grow stronger and wiser and heal some of those feelings of inadequacy or lack inside you, which are programs running from a younger age, or some may even say lifetimes. Again, it's about discerning. Actually, you know what? I have done a lot of work on my inadequacy and scarcity, and I don't really need to be seeing anything like that anymore. I believe that I am completely adequate and that the universe absolutely does have my back. So I'm going to just block them or hide that for now, because you know what? I really do feel inside of me that I've actually gone through that kind of healing process. So again, it's important to remember the difference between the two. And again, a lot of that can impact our energy. And this is also about learning to have healthy boundaries with ourselves, what we are allowing in, and healthy boundaries around our own time management too. Sometimes I spend a couple of hours on social media scrolling mindlessly, wasting 2 hours. I mean, sometimes it's nice, right? Because sometimes there's things you have access to you wouldn't necessarily normally. And again, it's about discerning and knowing what is serving you and what isn't, but also knowing what is going to hinder or help your manifestation practice. So again, there's a lot of things that can hinder our manifesting, especially the stuff that we have discovered. And a lot of it kind of lurks in the digital shadows, if you like. And understanding these potential stumbling blocks really is so important with our manifestation and also our intention. And it is really lovely to be able to dissect some of these challenges with you, but also to discuss these strategies in order to safeguard our vibrational frequency, which is so important. Safeguard them against these digital disruptions so that we can just ensure a smoother path, if you like, towards positive manifestations. Anyway, we're going to go for a very, very short advert break, and I will be back very soon.
Ready to unleash the power of the Law of Attraction? Join our Law of Attraction Advanced Certificate course to become a certified instructor. This comprehensive program empowers individuals, coaches, and therapists to guide others in manifesting their dreams and embracing abundance and joy. Unlock new career opportunities with this fully insurable training. Gain the expertise to empower others in daily manifestation and make a positive impact in their lives and yours. Enroll now and let the Law of Attraction transform lives. Visit the link in the show notes to embark on this transformative journey.
Okay, so welcome back. We've so far discussed the impact of social media on our energy. We've discussed some of the pitfalls and challenges like inadequacy and the comparison trap and negativity. Of course, there's going to be loads more that we can discuss as far as that goes. But now we're going to go into mindful social media practices. This is where the real wise one inside of us, the discerning wise master, manifesting master, kind of steps forward within us and really takes positive control over what we are allowing, what actions we are taking, what we are allowing to seep in our conscious and subconscious mind. So we've identified some of the challenges, and now we're going to look to pivoting towards some of the solutions. Some we've already mentioned, but just to reiterate. Now, the good news is that we absolutely hold the power to transform our social media experience. Woo! And this can be like this amazing conscious tool for manifestation. Mindful social media practices can really empower us to create an online environment intentionally. Now, we know intention is very important in manifestation, so that we can make choices that absolutely align with our life goals and our dreams. So how can we infuse mindfulness into our digital journey? So what I'd like you to start becoming aware of now is just noticing, not necessarily changing anything from what you would normally do, but just go on a little bit of an experiment. Do your normal thing and notice how you feel. Notice what accounts you're coming across. Notice whether it makes you feel negative, uplifted, inspired, whether you're going into the comparison trap. And just notice what is going on for you energetically. Notice what you notice. That is what mindfulness is all about. It's not trying to change anything. It's just noticing. And when you become aware in this way, you're going to start to connect with the accounts, if you like, and the people that inspire you and that uplift you. You're going to become aware of the content that raises your vibration and expands your consciousness. So that's going to be an important part. But also, this is what I had to do with myself because I was becoming a bit feral in my online experience, is to set intentional limits on my scrolling time. It's like, you know what, go and sit down, have a good old scroll on the sofa, but you've got 30 minutes or you've got 60 minutes. And then I would absolutely call time on that because I know what I'm like. I can spend hours on it. And of course, I want to use my energy to create my dreams. I want to be 1% better every single day. And when we start to implement these very small yet hugely energetic, beneficial and impactful steps, we can lead to a way more positive digital experience. So I'm going to leave that with you for now so that you can start to implement these very small shifts, which have the ability to make a massive impact on your life, so that we can navigate the digital landscape with this powerful intention and purpose and craft a space that absolutely aligns with the energy of everything that we wish to manifest into our lives. So I'm going to wrap up and leave you with all of those. And whether it is creating a vision board, which you can do online as well, by the way, you can take some of the things that you see online as inspiration, go and have a look for social media profiles that uplift you, that inspire you, that help remind you of who you are, and set intentional scrolling limits. These, my friends, are going to make a significant impact to you and your manifestation journey. So the digital world is a very powerful tool, and how we use it absolutely matters. And I would also like to say, just before I go, if you found this episode helpful, please can you subscribe and share and leave a review. I'd really, really appreciate that. Join me over on Instagram as well, where I'm pretty active. Until next time, sending you lots and lots of love and a beautiful week ahead. Take care for now. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Salarah Starre will be back next week with great insights into the law of attraction. In the meantime, please visit salarahstarre.com.